Okay, we are now recording the session. I'll request you guys to kindly mark your attendance, please. I'm to now mark your attendance. How many students do I have in my class? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 only. 5. I should have 5. Mohsen, Amna, Fasi, Amira, and I have Rafe. All righty. You are now requested, all 4 of you, to mark your attendance. Rafe, you haven't marked your attendance, bete? Abdul Rafe? Okay, when I call your name, it means that I've marked your attendance. Okay, in today's lesson, if you notice in your Oxford Progressive English, page number 167. Page number 167, you have the topic underneath grammar, the subject verb agreement. I'd like you to open up your books over here. Kindly mute yourselves, everyone. Who still hasn't? Okay. I'm now going to begin the lesson. We'll be doing the subject verb agreement. To understand this, we need to first understand what a subject and a verb is. Remember, verb is the action that takes place. Okay, subject is the one who is performing that action. For any sentence, whether in English language, for a sentence to be complete, a sentence should have a subject and a verb. The presence of subject and verb in a sentence means that the sentence is complete. Object is optional. If the object is there, well and good. The idea is more clear. But at times, you do not need the object as well. For example, I am. I is the subject, and my existence, the action of my presence, being, am, is the action. Okay, that I am. Okay, or at times when the Christian people, when they are taking their wedding vows, what do they say? I do. I is the subject and do is the action or the verb. Okay. With that, we come to the main content, the usage of the subject verb agreement in the English language. Subjects and verbs must agree with one another in number. Okay, that is singular or plural. Thus, if a subject is singular, its verb must also be singular. If a subject is plural, its verb must also be plural. In present tenses, nouns and verbs form plurals in opposite ways. Nouns, now, how do they form opposites in, how do they form plurals in opposite ways? Notice that. Nouns add an S to the singular form. What did I just do? How silly of me. Okay. Okay, now I understand that every word which is written in blue, if you tap on it, it'll take you to its further explanation. So I will not tap on it again. My bad. Okay, nouns add an S to the singular form, and the word noun will become a plural. And in the verb, they remove an S to form the singular. Okay? For example, the dog chases the cat. Chases in the word verb, in this example, I'm so sorry, I got confused, I got carried away. In this example, dog is singular, it does not have an S. Chases is the verb which uses an S. Okay? That is, verb in its singular form will have S in it. Noun in its singular form will not have an S. The dog chases the cat. The dogs chase the cat. Dogs is plural, it is taking an S, it is adding an S, and the verb does not have an S. The S is removed. The dogs chase the cat. Get the idea? Is point one clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Now, there are 9 subject verb agreement rules. Now, we will go with them one by one. The first one is that a phrase or clause between subject and verb does not change the number of the subject. Since there are 9, we will see how many we can cover today. I'll try my very best to cover all 9 of them. Okay. Um, so, a phrase or clause between the subject and verb does not change the number of the subject. Basically, it is about the singulars and the plurals of the nouns, okay? Nouns and the verbs. Throughout the subject verb agreement, you have to consistently keep in mind the singular and the plural, not only of the noun, but also of the verb, okay? A phrase or clause between the subject and verb does not change the number of the subject. For example, a can of lima beans sits on the shelf. Can is the subject, sits is the verb. Of lima beans is the prepositional phrase. Okay? It is showing the position of the can. Okay? What kind of a can is it? It is the one of lima beans. Lima beans are kind of like the kidney beans we eat, or red valley beans that we eat normally in our home. Lima beans are the Mexican version of the red beans that we eat. A can of beans sits on the shelf. This is not prepositional phrase. This is adjectival phrase. On the shelf is the prepositional phrase. ये इनसे गलती हुई है इधर, okay? In either case, of lima beans is the phrase which will not determine the can. Take it, the number of, although it has a lot of beans in it, it does not mean that the can will change into plural, okay? The verb sits agrees with the subject can. Can over here is not verb, okay? It is not the helping verb. We are talking about the object can, a tin can, not with beans, okay? Sits is agreeing with can, not with beans. The women, remember can is singular, sits is singular as well. The women, which is plural, who went to the meeting were bored. Okay? Women were bored. Who were these women? The ones who went to the meeting. The verb were agrees with the subject women, not with the verb meeting. Okay? Were is not, oh, where is my pen? Were is not agreeing with meeting. Instead, it is agreeing with the subject. Okay? Clear?
जी
We come to point number 2. Indefinite pronouns as subjects. We have done indefinite pronouns previously, okay? Singular indefinite pronoun subjects take singular verbs, okay? Just like we did earlier on. Singular indefinite pronouns include each, either, neither, one, no one, nobody, nothing, anyone, anybody, anything, someone, somebody, something, everyone, everybody, and everything. Why do we call them indefinite? Because we have no clue how many or who they were. Okay? We do not know how many, we do not know the exact amount, so we call it indefinite, but it is in the singular one form. Okay? Each, her एक, either, out of two, one, neither, none. Okay, so if we continue about them individually, they do refer to one person at a time, but we do not know who that person is, so it is called indefinite. Each does a good deal of work around the office. Each is singular indefinite. Does is the singular form of the verb. Plural indefinite pronoun subjects take obviously plural verbs. Abhi tak the basic thing is singular noun, singular verb. Plural noun, plural verb. Okay? And also if the singular noun does not have an S, whereas a singular verb has an S. Plural noun has an S, plural verb does not have an S in it. Okay? Till now, there are two things to remember. Now, plural indefinite pronouns include several, few, both, and many. Both do, we're talking about two people now, both do a good deal of work around the office. So, the verb is agreeing to the subject. Subject is plural, verb is also plural. Some indefinite pronouns may be either singular or plural with uncountable. Okay? Some indefinite pronouns may either be singular or plural. With uncountable, uncountables are the nouns which cannot be counted. For example, sugar. You cannot count each grain of sugar, can you? You can measure sugar, 1 cup of sugar, but can you count all the grains that are there in 1 cup? No. Can you count sand? No. Can you count the stars? No. They are uncountable. Anything which cannot be individually counted is considered uncountable. You can measure a cup of rice, but can you count the number of rice that are there in a cup of in a cup? No, it's quite impossible. Okay. Yes, you can take some time out if you have plenty of free time. Yes, you can count it, but generally it is considered uncountable. Okay. So with uncountable, we use singular verb, and with countable, we use plural verb. Okay, either singular or plural. Some, any, none, all, most. These five pronouns can be considered both singular or plural based on the usage of the phrase in between them. Some of the sugar is on the floor. Okay, now sugar is uncountable, but over here we are saying that some of it, a little amount of it, is on the floor. Since the little, it is little in amount, we will consider it singular. Obviously, the verb used will be singular. Sugar is uncountable, therefore, the sentence has a singular verb. Some of the marbles are on the floor. Marbles can be counted, so the word some over here means that marbles are more in number, they can be counted. Okay, so over here it is uncountable, hence we are using singular, and over here the thing we are talking about is countable. So when we use some, we are using plural in this case, whereas up over here, when we use some, since the object we are talking about is uncountable, we are using singular. ये भी point clear हो गया? Marbles are countable, therefore the sentence has a plural. ठीक है, समझ आ गई ये वाले की?
जी
Okay, coming to point number 3. Compound subjects joined by and are always plural. compound subjects. Compound subjects are when we're talking about two things together. Okay, a pencil and an eraser. Okay, together. ओह नहीं, ये कलर नहीं लेते हम लेते हैं ये वाला कलर. ठीक है, together a pencil and an eraser make compound subject. Compound means two. Okay, two things joined by the word and. Okay, a pencil and an eraser make writing easier. Now we saw that your statement says compound subjects joined by the word, by the conjunction and, will always take a plural verb. Okay, so a pencil and an eraser make writing easier. Make is plural. Pencil and eraser, there are two subjects joined by the word and, so it is considered plural. Okay, but on the other hand, with compound subjects joined by or nor, the verb agrees with the subject nearer to it. अब इसका क्या मतलब है? You can see we have nor over here. Oh, I'll go it again. You can see that we have nor over here. Okay, now you have two subjects again, compound subjects hai, but that is you have two subjects. The first subject is subject one is the director and subject two is the actor. Subject one is singular, subject two is plural. Your statement says that when you have two subjects which are joined by the word by the conjunction or nor, the verb will agree to the subject which is closer to it. Which one is closer to your verb? Actors or directors? Yes, please. Which is closer?
Director.
No, directors is far away. You can see that directors is far away. Actors is closer to our, isn't it so? So why are we if it had been director, we would have used is over here. Okay, since it is actors, actors is closer to are, we are using are. Actors are. Director is following the lines closely. Director dur hai. Director is far from your verb. Okay, actors is closer to your verb. So your verb will be based on the closer one. Okay, get it? Should I explain again?
No.
हाँ मैम.
In this case, you had two subjects. ठीक है, ये भी subject था, and also this one was the subject. This is subject one, this is subject two. But the difference was over here, your conjunction was and. But over here, your conjunction is nor. But your subject one is director, subject two is actors. Okay, now your verb is going to follow the one which is closer. In case of and, they will both be considered plural, so your verb will be plural when you have used and. But when you use or nor, your verb will be based on the subject to, the one which is closer to the verb. So it is going to be plural. In the above example, the plural verb, in the above example, the plural verb are agrees with the nearer subject, actors. समझ आ गई? अब समझ आई है?
मैम.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, इसी वाले को दोबारा हम, we will look at it in the different form. Neither the actors. Now, what have we done? We have changed their positions. ये यहाँ पर, and this one goes here. So notice how it changes. Neither the actors nor the director is following the lines closely. Over here, we've used are. Why? Because subject closer to the verb was plural. Over here, the subject closer to the verb is singular. So your verb is also singular. Okay? In this example, the singular verb is agrees with the subject nearer, which is directors. Now, we come to number 5, which is inverted subjects must agree with the verb. Waiter, there is a fly in my soup. Inverted subjects. How is it inverted subjects? Normally, you've seen that you have the subject, then comes the verb. In this case, you have the verb, and then comes your subject. No matter what the placement, if the subject is singular, your verb will be singular. If the subject is plural, your verb will be plural too. Okay? Waiter, there is a fly in my soup. Is singular, fly is singular. There are 4 flies in my soup. Flies is plural, so your verb is also plural. Another example, how are the relatives taking the bad news? Relatives is plural, so your verb is also going to be plural. Okay? Inverted subject means, again, normally you have this format. Inverted may, you will have the verb first, and then comes your subject. Point number 6, collective nouns. Collective nouns are the nouns which appear singular, देखने में वो singular होते हैं, but they talk about a lot of things together. ठीक है? Now, collective nouns such as group, jury, crowd, team, etc. may be singular or plural depending on the meaning. The jury has awarded custody to the grandmother. Jury is being used in its singular sense over here. That's why your verb is also going to be singular. On the other hand, in this example, the jury is acting as one unit. Therefore, the verb is singular. The jury members have been arguing for 5 days. Now we are talking about the jury members, which is going to be plural. Since it's plural, the verb is going to be plural as well. In this example, the jury members are acting as 12 individuals, 12 different people. Therefore, the verb is plural. We're down to number 7. Title of single entities such as books, organizations, and countries are always singular. The Grapes of Wrath, which is the name of a book, takes a long time to read, although the word shows that there is a plural word in it, but altogether it is one single thing. That is, we are talking about a single book. Hence, your verb is going to be singular as well. The United States, the United Nations Organization holds its meeting every year. Plural form subjects. That is, if the subject is in its plural form. Plural form subjects with a singular meaning take a singular verb. That is, news, although news looks like it's plural, but news will also always be considered single. News, measles, mumps, physics, etc. These words, they look plural, but and they are spelt plural as well, but their meaning is singular. Mumps is a contagious disease because it is a plural form of the subject, but it is considered singular. That is why your verb is going to be singular. Mumps is a contagious disease. On the other hand, plural form subjects with singular or plural meaning take a singular or plural verb. Sorry, my lines are going all astray, depending on their meaning. For example, politics, economics. Politics is an interesting subject. Politics is singular, so the verb is also singular. In this example, politics is a singular topic, therefore the sentence has a singular verb. On the other hand, the politics of the situation were complicated. Politics over here means, gives the sense of plural. So your verb is also going to be in its plural form. Politics of the situation. It is this phrase which is determining whether the word politics is in singular or plural. The politics of the situation were complicated. In this example, politics refer to the many aspects of the situation. Therefore, the sentence has a plural verb.
मैम इससे रिलेटेड कैसे एक्सरसाइज आएगी?
I'll show it to you, Mohsen, don't worry. Okay? Plural form subjects with a plural meaning take a plural verb. Scissors is always plural. Trousers is always a plural. The scissors are on the table. We never say the scissor is on the table. It is always supposed to be, according to the grammatical rules, the word scissor is supposed to be used as scissors, not scissor. Trousers, not trouser. Okay, so learn to incorporate the words in your everyday life. When you'll incorporate them in your everyday life and you'll start using them in your everyday life, you will automatically start using the correct form of verb. We normally say the scissor is on the table. It's not scissor, it's always scissors. Okay, and obviously you will use the word are. Okay, you normally say, is my trouser ironed? Is my school pants ironed for my next day? No, it's always, are my pants ironed? Are my trousers washed? Are the scissors in the drawer? Okay, the scissors are on the table. Scissors is plural, are is also going to be plural. The pair of scissors. Now, in this case, it is going to be used in its singular sense. Obviously, the verb will also be in its singular form. Note, in this example, the subject of the sentence is pair, not the scissor. Therefore, the verb must agree with it because scissors is the object of the preposition. Okay? This is subject. Here, scissors is coming as an object. But over here, scissors is the subject. And the table is the object. Okay, we have 10 minutes left. All right. Oh, move away, please. Yes. We're coming to the last one. With subject and subject with subject and subject complement of different number, the verb always agrees with the subject. Okay? My favorite topic is poems by Longfellow. We're talking about the name of over here, the word poems refer to the entity. Okay, and we are, okay, yes, we are talking about the main theme or the subject is topic. This is the object over here. Okay, my favorite topic is poems by Longfellow. The subject is singular, so obviously the verb is going to be singular. Poems by Longfellow are my favorite topic. Okay, here your subject is plural. So your verb is also going to be in its plural form. Okay, you do not need these. I can do them with you, the last ones, but you do not need these. Yeah, you do not need these. Usage of one of those, etc. You do not need it. Okay. With that, yeah. Okay. So over here, this is going to be your last point. With subject and subject complement of different number, the verb always agrees with the subject. Okay. That over here it is singular, and this is the subject complement, which is in its plural form. So the verb will agree to the subject. Over here, again, your subject is plural and the subject complement is singular. So your verb will agree to the subject. Clear? All right. Mohsin, I come to your question now. If you can see on page 171, you have your exercise, writing exercise on verb agreement. Can you see it, Mohsin? Open up to page 171.
मैम कर लिया अपन
ठीक है? It is a great exercise. If you have understood the subject and verb agreement, then doing this exercise is going to be a piece of cake. Okay? All you have to do is choose in the following exercises, write down the correct form of the two given to you in the brackets. Two verbs have been given to you. You have to pick the correct form of verb according to the मैं बता रही हूँ मेरा बेटा, ठीक है? According to the requirement of the sentence, according to the subject, you have to pick the appropriate verb. And then whether the verb is singular or plural, you have to tell me whether the verb is being used in its singular form or the plural form. And finally, the grammatical reason for your choice of verb. That is, out of the 8 or 9 that you have in your book, you have to tell me which rule is applicable. ठीक हो गया? Very simple task. Clear? This is going to be your homework, page number 171 and 172. There are 20 statements. You have to attempt this exercise on your book. Okay? Okay?
Yes.
All right. With that, we come to the end of our lesson. I will be sending you, in a little while, I'll be sending you, what you call it, a little reading text. What you have to do will be to write at least 3 to 4 statements about what you have understood from the text. Okay? And that you will send me on my WhatsApp. I'll send you a text, read that text, write at least 3 to 4 statements about, that is, summarize it in your own words, whatever you have understood out of it, but that you will also do in your notebook. Then take a picture of it and send it to me on my WhatsApp. Take ho gaya? With that, we come to the end of the lesson. Thank you very
मैम वो
much.
ग्रुप में भेज दो
Sorry? Hanji, yes, I'll send
मैम
it.
आपको ग्रुप में
I'll send that written material on the group. Okay? I'll do this activity every day. Every day, I'll be sending you one text for reading, which you will read comprehend in your own words and write at least 3 to 4 sentences of what you have understood out of it. Okay? This is going to be an everyday tedious job or your punishment or whatever because you guys do not read. This is the only way I can make you guys read. Okay? Chale. With that, we come to the end of the lesson. Thank you ever so much. I hope you have marked your attendance. Please mark your attendance before you leave.